get a general idea of the tempo, I'm just going to play the sample back and then use the tap tempo button up here. And this will give me a general baseline of the tempo that I want to work with. Now that I have a general idea of the tempo, I'm going to finalize that using a neat little trick. So I'm going to create a new pattern here, make sure it is on 2 bars long, then I'm going to go into step mode up here. Now if I press this pad down here, I'm going to turn on fixed velocity. If I press this pad down here, that's just going to sequence in that first slice on the first beat of this pattern. It sounds kind of confusing, but if I just play it back, that's all it is. It's just putting that first slice at the beginning of this pattern. So I'm going to exit here. And what I'm going to do is just let this loop and then change the tempo and make sure it sounds perfectly in line. So you can hear when that pattern loops back, there's a little bit of a jump, so it doesn't sound as smooth as it should. I'm going to make sure the tempo button's selected here, press down on the big knob to get some fine adjustments, and just turn this down a little bit, and then I'll restart the pattern, make sure it sounds a little bit better. That still sounded a bit fast, so I'll take it down a full notch there. Alright, so that's looping very well now. I think the tempo is what I need it to be. You can round it up or something. Little adjustments aren't going to make that much of a difference. So now our tempo is locked in to where we need it to be. We're ready to start recording. So I'm going to clear this pattern, just pressing the shift button and then 9th pad up here. Then I'm going to double it using this button up here. It's going to make sure it's 4 bars long. And now I can play back the melody that I had in my head a few minutes ago. I'm going to quantize this completely just by pressing shift and the 5th pad. So I like how it sounds, but we need to adjust some of these pads. This has a little bit too much on there, so I'm going to go into the sampling menu up here, over to edit, and just move the start point in. That sounded a lot worse. I don't know what I did. Zoom in here, just bring it up a little bit. Alright, those ones are sounding better now. Maybe gonna change this one a little bit. Okay, so you can see I'm messing around with the start points and it sounds a lot smoother than it did before. I didn't do is turn this on fixed velocity. So some of these pads have a little bit quieter volumes, and that's going to make things sound uneven. Just going to undo all my hard work, clear that, I'm going to go to pad mode, turn on fixed velocity, and just re-record. Okay, so messing around with different slices, I think this sounds pretty good. Feel free to make different variations of this pattern. Maybe I'll do that right now. Make another pattern. Make it 4 bars long. Just record a different variation. So when it comes time to arrange this track into a more finished one, you'll have different variations and add some variety to your track. So it doesn't sound a whole lot different, but just having a different pattern there, even a little bit in variation from the first one, will make sure things don't get too boring.